President Trump has been using Twitter to complain about Twitter fact-checking him and threatening a government regulation. Not so fast. FCC Commissioner Jessica Rosenworcel quickly retweeted, replying that social media can be frustrating, but an executive order that would turn the FCC into the president's speech police is not the answer. It's time for those in Washington to speak up for the First Amendment, and she says history won't be kind to silence. Michael, threatening the protections that the social media have as platforms rather than as publishers lights up the dashboard warning light for me about First Amendment. You too?
Definitely, and I fear that most people don't fully understand the legal technicalities of this new era in terms of what is the difference between a platform and a publisher. And it has to do with responsibility and liability. If you're a platform such as Google is theoretically supposed to be, or Facebook claims to be, or Twitter was for a while until it became murky in recent days, you are not responsible for what's on your platform. You're a platform, and you're not responsible for that which you convey to the public in terms of liability. The people that use it are responsible for what they say on that public utility, if you will. When you start to edit, when you start to curate, based upon any type of a determination that's subjective, whether it's political or whether it's obscenity, then you start to move away from that protection of being a platform and you become a publisher. The term, it doesn't feel right, but you're a publisher, even if you have a website or anything that goes over the internet. And that takes on a whole different technical reality. And that's the issue that we're dealing with right now with the president complaining about Twitter stepping in and footnoting what he says, is saying you can get better information elsewhere. And Zuckerberg is going through that right now in terms of the complaints that he's receiving from government and others that there's poisonous propaganda on Facebook and fake news and faulty advertising. To maintain, though, the freedom of speech that a platform provides, that we all were so excited about when the internet came around and said it's going to democratize media and preserve the First Amendment, that very concept comes into question. So Trump is operating in very dangerous area, in a dangerous area, and I'm not sure he fully understands the implications of the First Amendment. He seems to see things through the eyes of friendly to me, good, not friendly to me, bad.
Yeah, no kidding. And this platform publisher thing, you can't be a little pregnant. I want to recommend some reading if you haven't yet. My favorite book I've read so far this year is called More from Less: The Surprising Story of How We Learn to Prosper Using Fewer Resources and What Happens Next. And whether you play for the political red team or the political blue team, you're going to like what Andrew McAfee reports about how we have increased human prosperity while treading lightly on our planet. And the resources he describes are not all ecologically tangible. McAfee writes, "We believe things because the people around us believe them, or members of our political tribe do, or members of the opposite side believe the opposite. Most of us are more likely to believe things if we hear them enough times, since we have a glitch in our mental hardware to mistake familiarity for truth."
I'm Larry King, questioning, listening, learning. You know, I've always said I never learned anything when I was talking. It's important to listen. Question more.